Colonel Craig Clarkson's commanding officer for Marine Corps Tactical Systems Support Activity at Marine Corps Systems Command. Colonel Kevin Stepp is Assistant Chief of Staff G6 at 1MEF. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today. Colonel Clarkson, I start with you. What does force design look like at this point in time from your seat?
So force design broadly is the Marine Corps' effort to modernize for future conflict. From my seat, being at MCTSSA, we're primarily focused on command control, cyber communications, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, targeting, and autonomous platforms. So MCTSSA is a DoD lab, work in the C5I space, and we've been working primarily in our space to separate hardware from software, moving towards smaller form factor systems to enable Marines at the edge, enhancing the capabilities that they have, both with a small form factor hardware and also the software solutions that we provide.
Colonel Stepp, what about 1MEF?
Since force design was issued by the service, there have been a series of successive updates. And the most recent update this past October stated we're in the implementation phase. And the focus of that implementation is really taking the work that Colonel Clarkson and his team is doing, primarily focused on C2 and fires implementation, and making it reality, putting it online, validating the systems. And we're discovering that the link between C2 and fires is inextricable, meaning that I spend a lot more time as a C4 planner working with our fires team than I do with really any other staff section, which is a really exciting time for the Marine Corps and the work we're getting after.
What it sounds like to me is really important too, is that the concept of force design and the business lines under it are being embedded into the way that the Marine Corps does business. It's not an initiative anymore, the way I think a lot of people perceived it to be when it first came down. Is that a fair observation on my part?
I think so, yeah. I mean, there's certainly some investment decisions the Marine Corps was making initially about where we want to put our money for systems in the future based on how we wanted to refactor, the service. But I think that what's really happened with the Force Done initiative broadly is driving this tighter partnership between end users and the supporting establishment, the people actually using the gear and the people that are delivering the gear, and trying to turn cycles a little bit faster, ideally bringing industry partners in to work with us so we get best of breed. And so as we are looking at, from an acquisition standpoint, you have the big R requirement of the capability broadly that we want to deliver. Just getting that paperwork and handing that off to a program office is not enough. You need to actually be engaging directly with end users to understand their use cases. So yes, we have a requirement for this capability. And yes, what that means in practice is Marines need the ability to do, whatever it might be. And so by having Marines from 1MEF or other MEFs working with folks from the supporting establishment at organizations like MCTSSA, we're able to partner with those Marines, provide them the latest in the capability that we're trying to deliver, get iterative feedback from them, and then provide that information back to program offices so that when we find a solution that works and they go to scale, we know that we got it right. Vice a big bang solution 5 years after the program office got the requirement, we want to iterate to get there and make sure we deliver the right capability at the right time.
Colonel Stepp, what are you doing at 1MEF to do, as Colonel Clarkson alluded to get that tighter collaboration between the end user and the person that's getting the gear for that end user?
I think what we're getting after, Francis, is no longer are we doing the exquisite installation of C2 systems for a temporal exercise. We're using exercises to validate, to put runs on the board, and then we're keeping the systems online. Right now on Camp Pendleton, we've got an operations center that we man 24/7. And that's a means to provide a platform to integrate these systems, but to keep them online and to mature the capability, not only mature the tech, but mature the associated staff process with how we do some of these exquisite high-end technologies and implementing them for the sake of the forces forward.
I read that one of the ways that you're trying to get after the Pentagon's guidance on commercial solutions is something called Project Dynamis. What's Project Dynamis, and how are you moving out on that?
Sure. So Project Dynamis is an effort inside the Marine Corps to accelerate delivery of some of these C5I capabilities that we so desperately need to modernize. What we're trying to do is build on the momentum of a number of exercises and experiments that have been done in the past or last several years under the auspices of the the department's larger combined joint all domain command and control efforts. And in that, you've got separate efforts among each service. And that, what we're trying to do with Project Dynamis is, again, like we discussed, partnering with end users, understanding what they need, bringing in the latest capabilities that are available from industry, really partnering with industry in a more direct and meaningful way, and then also continue to be involved in some of these joint experimentation and really just, I wouldn't even say experimentation, but like proof of concept efforts, like one we did recently with the Army 4th Infantry Division at Ivy Sting at Fort Clarkson, Colorado. So it's, we want to, again, have end users partner with the capability developers, acquisition professionals, partner with industry engineers to iterate in real time, make adjustments, and then keep moving. And I think we're having a lot of success. And what I see happening across the department is all the services kind of converging on the same roadmap of where they want to go. And hopefully we're going to be really successful at the end, making it a lot easier for the operators to be able to connect all the sensors with all the shooters and make decisions at machine speed based on some of the artificial intelligence technologies we're procuring.
Colonel Stepp, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the exciting activities happening right now has really been an effort architected by the Project Dynamis team at the service headquarters. And this is a series of Dynamis serials. We're currently executed what Colonel Clarkson spoke to was Dynamis serial 003 at Ivy Sting. What we're doing is taking the hardware and software we have now, and we are moving data. We're moving across multiple enclaves. We're closing gaps between C2 and fire systems and bringing tremendous capability. And what Dynamis has helped us do is put a mark on the wall or a mark on the calendar in a time compressed manner to deliver capability right now. It's a very exciting time.